Hello, hello, good evening. How are we all? I am not responsible for anything I may say or do this evening. We went away for a week, which was lovely. Had an amazing time in Glasgow. We're at a really special event. That was fabulous. Oh, I'm very close. That better. And then we all came home with COVID, which is not a big deal nowadays. I'm aware of that, but I'm so tired. So yeah, I've had to have a wee snooze this afternoon in order to make sure that I was here and available to do this live. So I have an intention. I have a few supplies pulled out. How this goes, I have no idea. Hello Alison, hi Pauline, hi Deb, hi Sheila, hi Caroline. So lovely to have you all. Also, I probably shouldn't tell you, but I am going to have a very exciting announcement happening at the weekend. Very, very excited. So I can't tell you more than that because there's another person involved. But we will be announcing something very exciting at the weekend. So stay tuned for that. Hello, how are you, Julie? Nice to see you. And Dominique and... Man, you're all piling in. The chat's going faster than I can speak. Do you like the grid at the side? That's new. It's new pen storage. I have loads of pens. Anyway, I digress. Hello, Michelle. How are you? So I'm going to flip us round and we will start to play. Hopefully I will stay awake long enough. I would like to do a few pages, but we will see how this goes. Anyway, I'll flip you around and fiddle with the lighting. And then we will be all good to go. There we go. Hello, Pippa. All is good. I am just recovering from COVID, which, as I said, I know is not a big deal, but it's left me so tired. It's ridiculous. I don't think it helps that I'm currently anemic, and so it's kind of hit me quite hard. But other than that, we're all good. I've been trying to film today, trying to get some videos filmed, and I honestly had to go to bed for the afternoon. I knew that if I was going to be in any fit state to do a live this evening, I needed to go to my bed. So you've put one of the Enchanted Forest die sets on your list. Ooh, exciting. Hello, Stephanie. Lovely to see you. How are you? Right, today I am with acrylic inks. I'm currently working on a video where I'm using forgotten supplies because I've recently reorganised space, so I've rediscovered all of my supplies. But I've already done about 8 pages, and I've hardly gone through any of all of the supplies. So this one we'll do as a live. I'm planning on doing something really simple. We've got this page here. That one is fixed. That was a disaster. And 2 pages there. And then we're finished this journal. And I have so many lovely, lovely journals sat in my loft. So I'm hoping, I've just had a wee notification saying something's wrong. Oh no, it's disappeared again. We are in the middle of a storm up here as well, so I'm hoping the internet will survive. It's a little bit blustery. Just got my ink dripping down the side. Right. I like acrylic inks, and I don't play with them nearly enough. I'm going to put some out in a palette. I like acrylic inks because they kind of move like watercolours when they are wet. They are more opaque than watercolours, which I really like. And that one's a bit lumpy. And once they are dry. Like they don't, I know that sounds a stupid thing, they don't reactivate. That's what I'm trying to say. I told you, words, brain, combination of the two, not so happy today. So I'm just going to put a few inks out. I'm planning on doing like a really, really simple background. And then we'll do some stamping and embossing and see what occurs. Oh, you've nearly finished your journal. Ooh. I've been very good. I when they all launched, I mean, at first when they all arrived, I wanted one of everything, but and by that I mean one of every size and every colour. I have cheated myself to 3. One's going to be featured in this Friday's video, which is how to start an art journal, to kind of get over the fear of the blank page and actually get started with your journal. And I've got a few ready for other videos. Right, I am thinking, how's this going to go? Right, I'm just going to get some, I want to load this up. And I just want to make this really simple. I'm just going to do some simple stripes. Like so. Don't think I've made that even across the page. Right, there we go. Right, get some of the pink one. I'm going to put it over, which is going to give us a bit of a kind of in-betweeny colour. Oops, I need to clean the brush. I'll maybe give that a little dry. So this is what I mean. Whilst this is wet, the colours will blend. So if you put pink and yellow together, you will get orange. But once it's dry, it's permanent, so you can put colour on top and you won't get a bleed through. You've done a few pages in your new journals, but not GMC. I just sneak it up there and say, Julia, I gave you permission. You're loving the stamp, so different for you, but it was ready for a new challenge. Oh, thank you. I am glad. Right, so now I'm going to put the pink down. And now that that's dry, it's not going to blend, so we're going to get a nice true pink. Actually, I've done this the wrong way round. Never mind. I was going to do yellow into green. It's fine though. We'll do yellow into blue because I don't want mud. I've kind of gone about this the wrong way. Never mind, I told you, my brain just is not working. Right, blue. It's all good. Need more blue. I see my pink had dried off there, so we've not got purple, but I will come back in and do another stripe. Oh, I'm already singing. That bodes well. Right. Get this nice and keep that nice and wet, and whilst that's wet I'm going to dip back in the pink and hopefully we should get a purple, bit of a transition colour. I'm not getting quite how I'd wanted, but never mind, we'll let that dry and then I'll go over with the pink again. It's all good, all good. Now we'll try some greens. Ooh, I like that green. That's a pretty green. I kind of gone from being all neat to now just sort of slapdash. My lines aren't very even at the edge. Oh well, never mind. Not doing the best job here. This is not being the nice clean transition between colours that I wanted. Never mind. Right, and then we'll come back into yellow at the bottom. Oops. Clean brush, clean brush, clean brush. It's only the background anyway, so I shouldn't stress so much. We'll come back down into yellow. See, we've started off like really neat edges and then we've gone all lost control at the bottom. So maybe I just need to loosen these ones up as well. Make it a bit more uniform. There we go. And we're beginning to get a bit of a nice blend. Right, that's my background there. And then while I'm going to let that dry, it's not going to take too long to dry. And whilst we do that, I'm going to stamp this up. And I'm actually going to use my VersaFine Clear because, no, not my Versamark, sorry, because we're going to do a little bit of embossing. And I'm going to water this right down so that it looks a lot more like watercolours. Okie dokie. Right. This is my from when I was doing the video on the best alcohol markers. I bought really cheap ones. That's why you don't buy really cheap ones. You end up with dried out markers before you even started. Right. Get this put away. My chair's all squeaky. Is anyone hearing my squeaky chair? Or is it just me that's aware of it? Oops. Done the best clean up job there, look. That's going to be annoying. Ugh. Let's see if I can find a brush to... Finding that on my desk for weeks now. So what's everybody been up to? Chat seems to have gone all quiet. Told you, my brain today. I would like to do more than one page, but I'm not sure the brain capacity will get that far. Alright, let's emboss this. You're not going to see much this white embossing powder, but it's because I want to create a nice sort of resist look. If you're wondering why it says Libby's Library at the bottom, oh dear, my chat's disappeared. Alistair, if you're watching, can you come rescue me? Right, I'm going to add more inks. The chat, I'm not sure if I'm still live because the chat has disappeared. Let me log on to something on my iPad and see if I'm still live. I don't know if I'm still live. I think I am, but my chat's completely gone. Right, I'm just going to keep talking as though I'm there. Have a little look at what's occurring on Facebook. See if there's any of you saying anything. I still appear to be live, I think, so I'm just going to keep going and hope that Hubby can rescue what's going on. Right, this time I want to create more of a wash, so I'm going to put these colours back in here, and then I'm going to add some water. And what's quite nice about this, or with liquid watercolours, is that you can create a tint, and so you get a nice even look all the time. Like, what I mean is, like, quite often if you pick up watercolours from a pan, you can change the value and the density by the amount of paint that you pick up, because we are literally making washes out of these. No matter what, when we put our brush in, it will have the same value. So I'm just going to turn these into more washes just by adding a little bit of water. And then that means we can use them more now, like watercolours now, to paint our little flower. Right. I don't mind if I go outside the lines, although the embossing powder will have created a little bit of a resist. And we can also really build up our colours and our layers with acrylic inks, because as we've said before, once these dry, they become permanent. So it means that we can layer the colour and build up the intensity, but we don't risk creating mud like sometimes we risk when we do watercolours. So I'm going outside the lines here a little bit, but I think it'll be alright. I think it'll just give a really nice look. I'm hoping you're still there. Chat amongst yourselves. I can't actually see if you're there or not. So I'm just going to keep talking like you are there. If hubby can't fix it, then I will try and get my devices on Facebook and YouTube so I can see the chat and can work it out. So here we've got like a really delicate wash here with these inks. I'm going to say I'll let that dry and then I'll be able to build up some of the shadow areas. I actually quite like it when we go outside the lines a bit. I think it suits it when we've got that embossed detail. You're hearing random clicks, that's hubby trying to fix the chat. Just move this bit of thing into there just to kind of increase the intensity a little bit. If he's not got it fixed, by the time I finish this flower, I will flick on my iPad or something. I think there's more of you on YouTube, so I'll have a little look at what's going on there. And hopefully we can catch up that way. But he's very good at working miracles, so I'm still oh, there's a box has appeared. Now we just need the box filled with chat. I'm just going to drop a bit more colour into the top of those petals, just deepen them up a little bit. This is what I really like about them. I like watercolours, but I do get into a bit of a pickle with them. Whereas I do find this acrylic ink works really nice because I can layer up colours. Oh, he's going to get his glasses because he can't see. He was trying to tell me subtly, but I've just announced it to you all anyway. I'm going to put that in there and then just drop a little bit of the pink in. That was with the attempt to make it a bit more orange. That's kind of worked, hasn't it? It looks very pretty. He's come back with his glasses, ladies. Hopefully we'll be able to see now. Right, let's get a bit more depth into these stems. I'm kind of wanting it to dry naturally, I think, because if I try and force dry this, which I will if I have to, because obviously I don't want you to be having to sit there all day watching paint dry. That could be a tad boring. But because I have heat embossed this, we could end up affecting the embossing. It could just kind of look a bit naff. But I'm liking the fact that we've got bits of depth going on there. Let's try and build up the colour in the actual flower. Quite like that. It looks alright, considering I barely know what I'm doing. Don't know what we're going to do with all those washes after. Maybe another page. We'll work something out. If I stay awake long enough to do a second page. Right, we also have a little ladybug just here, if I can get in. And I'm going to... You alright?
Yeah.
I'm just going to check the Facebook. Oh, can't see. He's done something to my screen. I have a big square in front of my face. As long as you guys can see, we're all good. Let's have a look. Have a look on Facebook. Am I still there? Oh, I don't think I am. Oh no, I am. I'm still here. Okay, we have 19 comments. Oh, hang on. All good there. Okay. Julie's never, oh, I can't see the chat. Oh, see, this is why I have my fancy set up. You never thought of using, oh, hi Rianne, how are you? So guys, I'm currently being able to see your comments if you're on Facebook. Let me see if I can set up my iPad for YouTube. Tell you, all this fancy tech and we end up with a very sort of crude way of doing it, but hey, needs must. Right, let's see if I can get onto the YouTube one. I may as well while I'm waiting for my thing to dry. Let's see. Okay, Pretty Fly. Okay, I'm still alive. Oh, somebody's been to the doctor or the dentist. Right, okay, I can kind of see. It's a bit of a clunky setup, but I can kind of see, and hopefully hubby can. Right, I've got my iPad over there with YouTube, and I've got. What's the difference between acrylic ink and acrylic paint? Good question. I'm not 100% sure. This is liquid. I'd have to kind of probably do a little bit more research. This is liquid and I can water it down and create like stains. So like with watercolours you can create like, you know, like in watercolouring you can do glazing. So you can do that here, but because the layer underneath dries, you're not kind of getting that cauliflower effect that you get with watercolours. And you can also, you're not going to create mud. So you know how sometimes if your colours run together with watercolours you can get mud. You don't get that because if I leave that to dry now it'll become permanent. And also with the inks you can get like a transparency. So you can water down your acrylic paints and use them watered down, but you won't get them as transparent looking as this. So this is, as I said, this gives you the effect of creating glazes as you would with your watercolours. You're not really going to get that with your acrylic paints even if you try and water it down. And it does dry matte, which is another reason why I quite like acrylic inks over watercolours. Watercolours tend to have a bit of a sheen to them. And I quite like that. That's gone a little bit dark for my liking, but anyway. So I would probably need to do a bit more research, Pippa. I am actually planning a video on different ways to use acrylic inks, so I will probably do a lot more research for that. Hang on. Do you know what I'm going to do right now? This is how I find out most information on life. I'm going to take you off Facebook at the minute whilst he's fiddling. I'm going to ask ChatGPT. This is how I find the answer for everything. Right, so what is the difference between acrylic, see how accurate it was in my waffle, acrylic paint and acrylic ink. Okay. So acrylic paint and acrylic ink are both a water-based pigment-rich mediums made from acrylic polymer emulsions, but they differ in texture, application and purpose. So consistency, that's kind of what I was saying. Acrylic paint is thicker and creamier and it comes in various viscosities. Acrylic ink is a thin fluid ink-like and it flows easily similar to traditional drawing ink. Your pigment in acrylic paint is highly pigmented but has more body added. Your acrylic ink is also highly pigmented but has a more transparent nature, which we discussed. Application tools for acrylic paint is best applied with brushes, palette knives or sponges. Acrylic ink is best applied with dip pens, airbrushes. I so want an airbrush. I really want an airbrush. That's the next thing on my wish list. And droppers. Techniques. Acrylic paint is ideal for thick texture, layering, traditional painting techniques. Acrylic ink is great for fine detail, line work, washes, calligraphy and splatter effects. Drying time. Acrylic paint is slower to dry. Acrylic ink dries quickly. Finish. Acrylic paint can range from matte to glossy depending on the formulation. Oh, it says usually vibrant and glossy when dry, but it's not. It's got a matte finish. But anyway, there we go. So that's the difference. I don't know if that's helped to answer your question. I'm going to have to flip back to Facebook now to find out if that's actually answered your question, Pippa. Technology is great when it works, isn't it? Oh, thank you. Now you're going to have to go shopping. I'll put a link in the group in a minute. Right, now somewhere in here they are. I have scissors. Whilst I consulted ChatGPT, I'm going to have to just finish off the drying of this a little bit. To be honest, I would probably take a lot more time and create a bit more detail and variation in tone if it wasn't for the fact that we're live. Lift some of this up because, as I said, if I overheat this, we're going to end up with made the flowers look very interesting. I'm going to end up with the embossing powder looking a bit dodgy. Right, I've got loads of watered down acrylic in my palette anyway, so we'll maybe need to do another page just to kind of use it up. Gorgeous fussy cut in there. Skill that, isn't it? Okay, let's happen. Oh, Deb, you'd make a proper mess with an airbrush. Yeah, it's been very windy here too. It's been, yeah. Well, I would say we'd lost a fence panel, but that happened in a storm last year. It's just still not gone back up. We've not lost any more fence panels. We almost lost our wheelie bins, but hubby tied them all together with a rope. So that helped. Right, this is nice thick card, perfect for watercolouring on, but a little bit more tricky for fussy cutting. So I'm just going to have to take my time a little bit to get some decent fussy cutting going on. I've got to remember, my idea is we'll put that there somehow. That would be the plan. And that was as far as the plan went for today. So I don't know what we do after this. We will find out. Right, I'm trying to speed up the whole fussy cutting thing because I realise it's a little bit boring to watch. My tech guy is having difficulty getting it in the chat back up, but I think we're still running, and I'm managing to see your comments even if I'm looking in various directions to try and catch it up with you all. Don't know why it said it has a glossy finish. This is definitely a matte finish. I'm looking at it right now. It's got all the fancy lights on it as well, because I'm lit up. Like, I've got so many lights in this studio to try and make it nice and bright when I'm doing my lives and my video editing. So I've got loads of lights on here, and it's not showing a sheen. Ooh, oh no! I thought something had occurred there. You bought children's watercolour pen airbrush from Lidl. It's great and cheap. Ooh, that sounds good. Julie's been on Amazon looking at acrylic inks. I know, there's so much nice things. Have to say, I've been playing with liquid watercolours today, and I'm not sure that I like them as much. I think I might be giving those away. Yeah, I'm going to have to do more fussy cutting. That's going to... Yeah, I did struggle with them, but I do like my acrylic inks. Yeah, I'm also thinking, because I like doing altered art and, you know, mixed media, you know, like when I did my clock and things like that, and I've got loads of things that I've bought from charity shops and squirreled away for makeover, and I'm just thinking some of those makeovers would be so much easier with an airbrush. And it is one of the ways that you can use your ink. You can also use it with a glass or dip pen, which we could maybe do in a minute actually. That's one of our next things. Oh, isn't that pretty? I'm going to have to cut that bit out as well. I do apologise.
Sorry, Al. I am managing to make it work if you need to go in. If you need a life other than standing over me while I craft. If it's not going to work, that's not a problem.
No.
I can manage.
It's more difficult to do when it's light.
I know, sorry. We'll blame the storm. I don't think it was the storm, but we can blame it. Right, there we go. Looks pretty, pretty. Right, I'm going to get my glue. Oh, and the other thing about acrylic inks is I also, which we'll do in a minute, I also have a white acrylic ink. So you can't, when you work with watercolours, you have to go light to dark. So you have to think about all your highlights first and protect them. You can't add your light in afterwards. And because I work predominantly with markers, that is completely the opposite way to which I work. My brain just doesn't seem to work that way. Whereas with the acrylic inks, you can work dark to light because you can add your lights over afterwards. Also, to create pastel colours with your watercolours, you just have to keep watering down. You can't actually create a pastel colour. But because with acrylic inks you have the white, we can add that to any of these inks and make a pastel colour. So we could do that actually. We could do this again and create a pastel wash. But I'll show you what I mean, because I'm about to use the white ink to create a bit of a splatter. But even though it's liquid, it does create a nice white splatter. But also you can use that then, you can create like a really lovely washed look that looks like watercolour, but you can still come in and add white highlights with the same thing. So that's another reason why I like the liquid. You're just pleased we're all safe. Oh, thank you. I'm just going to pop that there. So this is my liquid acrylic ink. Just going to make sure my brush is nice and clean. And I'm going to do some white splatters. So we've got a really nice opaque white. Just like, ooh, give myself a big splodge of it there. I didn't quite intend to do that. So you can see how that white really pops. So there's a couple of reasons why that really pops. Firstly, it's acrylic and that has dried. So because it's dried, it's not going to be reactivated sometimes if we work on a water-based product. So had I done that with watercolour, and I put a wet medium, even though this is opaque, if I put a wet medium over it, it's going to reactivate what's underneath. So you tend to find that your splatters are maybe go slightly pink, slightly blue, slightly green, depending on what they landed on. But because this is acrylic, and although we've still got the same wash effect, it's completely permanent now that it's dry, which means the white will stay white when we put it on. So I do like that, and that's why you can see that I could come in. Let's do that now actually, just to prove a point. I can come in now if I want and create some white highlights. You just can't do that with watercolour. So I can actually paint little white highlights on. And it is still sort of semi-translucent. So I might, if I wanted them brighter white than that, I would have to sort of darken them up. But it does mean you can sort of create little white, you can still get your whites on top, which you can't get with watercolours. Right, let's have a look. I'm just checking all the chats. Good evening, Carol. Right, so I'm going to give that a little blast. What are we doing? We've done half an hour. I'll try and do another page. Because I talked about making acrylic inks pastel, let's do that. So I'm going to add a load of white to each of these. And then probably what I would do is get my journals. Actually, I'm just doing 2 squishes of each one. We'll give them a little stir. So I've made a pastel shade now. You just don't get pastel watercolour shades. You kind of have to do it through adding water, which kind of does work. But look at that. Oh, that is just such a yummy colour. Let's... And obviously I have added this into the watered down versions. So these are going to be like washes. But I could have mixed it with it in its pure form as well, which would have kept it really, oh, look at that. It's so pretty. Right, let's give this a, I'm going to give these splatters a waft. They probably should have a sentiment. I feel like I had sticker sentiments here at some point. There they are. Look, they're right beside me. I have some little sticker sentiments. We'll add a little sentiment on in a minute. You love the blue now. It's pretty, isn't it? So as I said, we've done that as a wash, but if you were to, if we didn't have the water in there, it would, you'd be able to do this again, but do it with the, I might still try and do it. It's just going to be a really washed out version. Keeping it. Adventure awaits. That'll do. Simple page tonight. Right. It's a bright manic one. Right, let me see, where have we got? Shall we do, see what the wash is? Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. Yellow into green. And see what I mean? Like there's no blooms. So with watercolour you can get a bloom. You can tell I use alcohol inks at the bottom of this. Never mind. Oh no, that's not the colour I wanted. I want blue next. There we go. Oh, that's so nice. Some more blue on there. Do you know what? I'm actually going to I'm going to save the pink. We will dry the pink and we'll add the pink later. We've gone very close to the edges there. Just going to get a card underneath. Let's just. Going with it now. But see, this is just a tint, so this is it watered down. You saw that I put lots of water into the tints. And look at the intensity of that colour. That is so pretty. Look at that for an ombre. Lovely. Right, I'm gonna just dry that, and then what I'm thinking is we'll add pink as a feature. Because if I dry all of this down, pink ink from a pink big journal. If I dry all of this down, it will be permanent, and then we can splatter the pink on. I have no idea what we're doing with this page, by the way. Let's grab a stencil. Splodged a bit. I don't like that. Right, let's see if we get that up before it dries. It's alright, because it all just adds layers. Well, actually, I don't mind that. We'll carry on. I quite like it once it's lifted. Right. Oh, I'll tell you, so much of my crafting is just things I don't like, and then doing things to cover the mistakes, and then eventually liking it. That's quite nice. I quite like that. I quite like the subtlety of that. I am needing to keep and stir this to keep the pigment, but get a few pink splatters on there, and then work out what on earth we're doing with this page. Ooh, look at that pink. But see, this is what I love about it, because now I'm putting pink on top of green. That is the 3 primary colours. So technically, if they were blending together, they would be making a lovely brown yucky colour right now. Which I don't particularly want. But the fact that we don't have that movement underneath, it really makes a difference. And then we need to work out what on earth we're going to do with this background. I will contemplate it whilst heat gunning. You love your Ecoline water. Oh, that's good to know, Alison. I just need to, I definitely need to practice more. I've been using it, but I don't think, I've not given up on them completely. I've been using them for making a video. Not this week's video, but next week's video. And I've really struggled, but I think part of that is I really don't feel well. So I've just been struggling with doing anything. So I'm trying not to be like, to be honest, I didn't try the Ecoline ones. I have the Ecoline ones. I was using the Spectrum Wire ones more because I believe that the Ecoline watercolour inks match the Ecoline pens. So I'm thinking one of my monsters would be nice. I will see what I have. I think I might have one of my monsters. So I want to have, oh dear, my heat gun is not smelling happy. That's not good. Right, one of my monsters. I think I might only have them. I do have some of my monsters. I've got some of them there that are not pre-coloured, but it's not the best paper for inks. Let's see, what have I got? I've got those little guys. I think I might have a pink one somewhere. Sorry guys, looking through my folder, but I'm kind of doing that off camera, and I kind of need to do it off camera because I'm just going to take everything out of this folder. I think I'm struggling to. This is my digital printouts. So somewhere in here, I'm sure I've seen the pink monster. That's monster stuff. Oh, I've got this one. It's the one, I'm looking for the pink one. Oh, that heat gun is not happy. Oh yeah, that's the one, but I think she might be too big. But at least we have a few choices, I think, possibly. He's cute, isn't he? So I think this has been on my floor. Look, it's got like a and my chair has ran over it. Let's go for him and kind of like the size of that one, but it's got a big black mark down it. I'm a bit concerned about my heat gun. It's really not smelling happy. I've got a feeling when I turn that back on it's going to explode or stop working. I'm hoping that if I just turn it off it'll, I mean I have had it a long time and I do have other heat guns, but it's, I don't know, the Ranger one is a slower, I'd probably get another one of those. It's like the heat's not quite as intense, so it maybe takes a bit longer to dry things, but when you're doing the likes of your shrink plastic and things like that, it's more controlled. So I'm hoping it's not dyed. That would be upsetting. He's so cute. I think maybe want to put a bit more stamping in it. Like build the background up a bit more. Or we could do that with acrylic markers. Sorry, checking the chat everywhere. Yeah, what was I saying, Alison? Yeah, so I was saying I think about the water. I'm going to give them another chance, but I think I need tips. I have made some stuff I really liked. I just really struggled with them. But I don't think watercolours in general are my best medium. I want to be able to know how to use them. And I keep trying, I keep coming and giving them a try, but I definitely struggle with them. But if you struggle, the best thing to do is to keep practicing, which is what I try and do. I try and keep pulling them out. What I need to do is have a one-on-one lesson with Erica. I keep saying to Erica we should do some sort of colouring workshop where she teaches watercolours in half of the class and I do alcohol markers in the other. I think that would be a fun workshop. As long as I can take hers, because I really need to learn how to watercolour properly. And she's amazing at it. Oops. Well, thank you for suggesting the monster. I probably wouldn't have come out of that. I think I would have gone for an under the sea thing. But I've made quite a bit under the sea. So, oh, have you seen, which is it? I think I've made one of my favourite pages ever. If you've not seen this week's video yet, it's about using alcohol markers in your journal. But I did that page. Completely in love with that page. I think that might be one of my favourites for a while. He's cool. He is definitely very cool. I like him. So I'm thinking, let's add a bit more detail with our acrylic markers and build up that background a little bit, and then we'll stick our little monster on it. You've just bought yourself 2 nice how-to watercolour books and you've ordered yourself some Winsor Neuter paint. Good for you. I do think that, especially, I don't know, I'm such a colour magpie and I love anything colour. I love all sorts of paints and products and stuff like that. And I am good with my alcohol markers because I spent years learning and refining and stuff like that, and I've maybe not given the same dedication to other products. So I do think sometimes taking the time to learn about your products is worth the investment. I always say it, me doing the Kit and Clowder colouring classes was one of the best investments I made, because I've bought all the pens, have all the pens and all the things, but if you're not really sure how to use them, they're a bit of a waste. Where sometimes investing in how to use what you've got is worthwhile. So you have to let me know how you get on with those books. I'd be very interested to know. I have to say, the video that I've been making, that's for it's not for this Friday, following Friday. And I've been working with mediums that I don't normally use, and some of them I've really enjoyed, even though I've not done great, I've really enjoyed playing with them. But I definitely need to now. So I've already started watching some YouTube channels of people that know what they're doing, and maybe need to look at some Skillshare classes of some of the things just to learn a bit more about it. Have some floating squares. Let's have some over this side. Might come in and put some more definite circles in again. Maybe with an orange. Right, we just need a couple over here because I like things. I say I like things in threes. Most of us like things in threes, and it's because it's a design. It's the way our brains are designed to work. Because we see things as a whole if they're in threes. If we have them in even numbers, our brain looks at it as this or that. Hence why the rule of threes is discussed a lot in design. It actually just makes our brains happy, which is why everyone likes it and gravitates towards it. Oh, that's nice. Right, we have some circles in this stencil. Let's add a few circles. I think I'm going to go for an orange. Orange. You love your watercolour paints, pens and pencils, yeah. Are the acrylic markers different to acrylic paint markers? I'm a bit confused by that question, Pauline, sorry. You've learned, so these are acrylic paint markers. So yeah, these are different to alcohol markers. The acrylic paint markers have acrylic in them. So acrylic markers will have acrylic in them. I'm also over... Oh, what's Rianne saying? Hello, Karen. You had some time away from doing other things, but getting back into it now. What does everyone do to get their mojo back? Have you lost your mojo, Susan? A couple of things I do. Sometimes, like, why have you lost your mojo? Sometimes if you're exhausted and you're I don't know, like if you're doing DT work or stuff like that, it's kind of, you're having to make things, or if you're, there's almost the added pressure, so you're not just creating for the sake of creating. So sometimes take a break is one of the best things you can do, or do other things that feed you creatively. So sometimes, like, if I'm feeling like that, I'll go for a swim, I'll go for a walk, go to an art gallery, read a book. Different things that just maybe feed your creativity. Like for you, you love your photography and things like that. You know, it's like find a different creative outlet for a while. The other thing I like to do is to create without purpose. So sometimes if you sit there and think, right, I've got to make a card start to finish, or I have got to make... Actually, I'll get my Sidekick journal out in a bit and I'll show you what I mean. Have a Sidekick journal. I love a Sidekick journal. It's been a revolution to me, I tell you. And what I mean by like create without purpose is don't feel that I have to make an art journal card page from beginning to end. I have to make a card from beginning to end. Just get out your paints and do this. A wash, some backgrounds, and don't finish it, just leave it there. And sometimes that just takes the pressure off, and there's something about us just doing that puts us back into creative flow. And sometimes, quite often, when you take the pressure off yourself like that, oh, let's have some funky clouds. Sometimes when you take the pressure off yourself like that a little bit, you kind of end up finishing a piece anyway, but it doesn't matter if you don't, because you're telling yourself that that's not the purpose of you creating. But just kind of thinking, well, I'm not going to make anything today, but I'm just going to put paint on some paper. I'm just going to put ink through a stencil. But quite often just those practices of us doing that. I don't like that colour. I like the idea but not the colour. Right, let's go back and get a brighter pink. And so that, I find that helps. And the other thing that I find that helps is take something that you have made before. So quite often I will maybe flip through my art journals. This is another reason why I like to keep an art journal, because I know that some people kind of ask me what's the point of an art journal. And that is one of the points that quite often I can refer to if I need to. But look through your old cards. I know like you've taken photographs of your cards for DT makes and things like that if you don't have them anymore, but look through your journals or your cards and find something that you've made before that you really, really like, and make it again. Just copy it. So you're copying your own work essentially, and it's a bit of work that you like. And you might find that you might make it exactly the same, or you might find, again, because you've got yourself into creative flow, the creative juices sort of take over and you start doing something else anyway. So those are what I do. That's what I do. Well, like those pink clouds, they are a little bit funky, aren't they? I think once we get a bit of white detail on that, that'll be fab. Should we stick little guy down? Little dude guy down. Oh, that's fun. I like that. Thank you for the suggestion of that. I think once we get some white details on, we will be all cooking on gas. I am just going to create something for him to stand on. Julie buys something totally different. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that my stuff has managed to get you something different's managed to get you out of a creative funk. That's made my day. That's made my day. That take a break, absolutely. I do that. Next week, not next week, but the week after, I am going to the Fringe, and I can't wait. And because like, well, you've seen it with me. This year we have had 3 releases. Is it from me? So we had the mini digital kit in January, we've had the ladybugs, and then we've had the forest things. I haven't even drawn anything else. I don't know what to draw. But to be honest, I'm trying not to stress about it. And do you know what? The forest range has been one of my most popular ranges, and I think it is because I just sort of took that break and drew from the heart. And it's been brilliant, and so I just plan to do that again. So it might mean that we have a couple of ranges close together, and it might mean that there's a while between them, but I just think you're going to get better stuff as a result of it. And I think that's what Rianne's saying, like take a break, do something different. But yeah, I'm going to the Fringe, and I absolutely love the Fringe, and it's so creative, the Fringe, but not my niche of creativity. That's the other thing I would suggest, is look out with your niche. I follow loads of people on YouTube. Very few of them are paper crafters. I follow artists, I follow people that do stuff with clay, I follow people that do squishy makeovers, all sorts of stuff. But it's not what I do. But watching creativity, even if it is a different form to what I do, just naturally sort of, it's different, and it feeds your creativity but in a different way. And that's what I was saying about the Fringe. Normally when we go there, we normally do a couple of improv shows. They are brilliant. They're so much fun. I love going down the Makers Market, and you're seeing like all these artists, and by artists I mean you've got like last year there was a woman that had painted on feathers. Unbelievable. There was another woman that had made jewellery from jelly prints. There was somebody that was felting. There was someone that was doing crochet, all sorts of things. And I don't know, there's just, the Fringe is just creativity all over. But it's not necessarily my genre of creativity. But I absolutely love that. I love the fact that it is really different. And that inspires me. So it's not that I'm going to go home and start felting a cushion or something like that. But, that's a bit of a dark one. But it's just something in it sparks something. So like, trying to find a nice blue. That one seemed a bit dark. I tell you, these pens, I've bought a whole load of acrylic markers to take, because I love these Artex markers. I absolutely love them, but I also hate them because they are very hit and miss as to whether they choose to want to work at it or not. And that drives me insane. But as a product, I love acrylic markers. Yeah, and I think that's the thing, Julie, that lots of us that share online, we share to be inspired, to inspire other people. So don't be afraid. I mean, if you do end up exactly copying what somebody's done, obviously give them credit if you're going to share on social media. That's just polite. But in general, for those of us that are sharing our makes online or sharing videos or whatever we are doing that because we want to inspire people. So if somebody kind of sees something we make and it inspires them to want to make something, then go for it. Probably make their day as well if you tell them, I made this because I was inspired by what you did. The Artex pens are the best you've had yet in an acrylic pen. That's good to know. Well, I've bought a whole load. They're sat behind me because I need to unbox them and do a review. But it's like sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. They drive me insane, but I actually do like them. Decided to add some raindrops. I'm so busy waffling here that I'm just waffling and creating at the same time. So, Susan, if we helped, what are you going to do? What's your plan now to get the crafty mojo back? Oh. But do you know what? Maybe your body just didn't want you to be colouring in on holiday. Like, you were on holiday. Maybe it was kind of like, are you joking? I'm on holiday. I don't know. I'm gonna just add some extra lines and things, soften these black bits. I do like them, but I think it just needs a bit softened. Once I have done this page, because we have those inks left, I am going to pull out my Sidekick journal. And I do think a Sidekick journal is brilliant for creativity. It's a complete no pressure form of journaling. I love it. I use it as a warm up, as a cool down, as a mop up. But if I was in a funk, which I very often am, I would be pulling out my Sidekick journal. I love this. This is so fun. Right, let's grab a black pen. Because we've not done a doodly border yet today, and I feel that we need one. Life is not the same if we don't have a doodly border. Don't know that we've quite finished the journal. I think I still have one page to go, but I don't think I have the energy to start another one. I think under normal circumstances I maybe would have, because we've only been going an hour. But as I said, the fatigue with this is just ridiculous. And I'm actually sleeping well at night, but I'm still really tired. You did find that what red squirrels were on holiday. See, that's the thing. It could just be that, you know, if you're on holiday, being in the moment on holiday is maybe more about taking the photographs, because that's where the memories are and things like that. I would take the pressure off yourself and go do something else. I think if it's in the fact you're sitting here watching shows that it's there. You know, the fact that you're still wanting to be part of it, it's there. So just sometimes you need a break, and that's okay. You'll come back to it with great enthusiasm. Something will just kick off, you know, start the ball rolling, and you'll be like, ah, yeah, that's it. This is really fun. I have Monster Sentiments, which I'm going to now need to find. Oh, that is so much fun. Thank you for the suggestion. I love crafting in a group like this, especially when my brain is the way it currently is. Oh, that is so much fun. I adore it. It's very simple, but I adore it. Right, you're very welcome, Susan. Let's have a look at, where's all my papers gone? Oh, there they are, they're over there. I'm
I'm sure I have monster sentiments in this, in this big pile of papers here. So we'll have a look, and then we'll have a quick look at the Sidekick journal while I use up some of these tints that I've made, because I will have to use all of this up. It will not be wasted. Oh look, I've just found a whole load of, although they're on sticker sheets. Got that, but that's been printed on sticker paper, so it's well glossy, so I probably wouldn't have wanted to use it anyway. Right. Just having a look. Oh, it's just a good day. I think we'll do You're So Fabulous and Scary. It's the most art journal-y type one. Do you know the one thing I do want to make, and this has been in my head for a while, is like a paper pad that is just sentiments. So not like the sticker sheets where you pull the stickers off, but just like this that you can cut into them and make them your own. Because I always end up cutting things, even stickers, because I like to rearrange it. And I kind of keep thinking, you know, like a paper pad that has loads and loads of sentiments. Some black on white and some white on black. And I was thinking I could do an everyday one, and I could do a journal based one as well. That's kind of what I want to do right now. But I'm not sure if that's something that people would want. So is that something you would use? Because I do all this all the time. I've got my digital ones, and you've got loads of stuff to sell you bought years ago. Oh, destashing things. Deb, I'm not sure about the Artex. I love them, but I also hate them because they don't always work and they're a lot of money. But I have literally bought. I've bought some of the new Ohuhu ones. I'll show you what I've bought. Ready to do a review, but it'll be a while coming. But I don't mind messaging you after I've done them. I wouldn't want to like rave about them because I love them and hate them all at the same time. If you're wanting to get started and you're not sure on if you don't have any acrylic markers at all, you can get these ones from B&M Bargains for £4. 24 colours. They're not going to last a long time, but it'll give you an idea as to whether you like acrylic markers. They work absolutely fine. I know lots of people that use these markers and don't have any problem with them, but I also do know, because I watch a lot of YouTube, that there are people that have really struggled with them as well. So I don't know. You can never have enough sentiments. You would use them. You've been going through your stuff. Yeah, I go through my stuff. I'm not sure how I feel about the liquid watercolours, to be honest. So I'm not going to get rid of them now. I'm going to give them another play. But because I do the drink and draw, she's gradually building up art supplies there for people to use. So I would probably donate them to her. You spent ages typing fun words, etc. You would love that. Okay, I'm glad you think it's a good idea, because that's about the only idea I have in my head. That, and I want to do a big pumpkin, but like literally just a plain pumpkin. And the only reason I want to do that is because I want to paper piece a pumpkin. So I'm not sure that that's something that I would. Yeah. Who knows? I'm hoping I really have no ideas. I just keep drawing trees, and I've already done trees this year. I'm just thinking I can't give you more trees. But I'm hoping that I will come back from the Fringe feeling inspired by something. One of the things that I'm most excited about going to the Fringe is that there's this place called Six and Niku. I don't know, Stephanie. I've literally just bought them. They're all still in their wrappers. Here, I'll show you what I've bought.
I buy them partly because I'm going to be doing workshops and partly because the review things do well on my channel. So I've bought, see I haven't even opened them. I've bought these ones. So I've bought those ones. And I bought these ones. These were like the really cheap and cheerful ones. As were these. Out of the acrylic markers that Artex do, I prefer these ones. I prefer their Sim Tap ones. The flow doesn't seem to get as lost. So I do, because you kind of literally push this nib when you want more. And I've also bought these ones, which I'm hoping are really good because the value of these was really good. And actually they're alcohol markers. When I did my review of the alcohol markers, which is just up on my YouTube channel, the Shuttle Art were my favourite out of all the budget ones. So I have high hopes for them. But as yet, you can see none of them are opened. So that will be a project for another day. So I bought them ready, but I've not actually used them yet. Hello, Karen. Oh, well, if you like the idea of the words, I might do that. So I'm kind of thinking that I would maybe have one, I've already got the title, I would call them Wordage, and then Wordage books. And then you could maybe have different editions. So I would just have to have like the main Wordage ones, which would be all your, I don't know, like greetings. If you know what I mean. Like thinking of you and... I mean, obviously I would do like more interesting, quirky ones than that because that is me. I don't tend to do normal sentiments. But then I was also... I will do, Julie. I also want to do ones that are more journally, like, you know, believe in yourself, life is too short not to be creative, like slightly more flowery ones that are more suitable for your journal. So I think I'd maybe have but then it would be stuff I could build on as I brought out new ranges. Do you know what I mean? It's like you could have the love edition and the holiday edition and whatever. But I would quite like to launch two and have an everyday one and have a journal one. That's been in my head for ages, but I've not got around to do it. It actually wouldn't take me that long to do it either. I'm just procrastinating. Family names I maybe can't do quite so much. I will let you know, Julie. I am just, I'm not going to rush into it because basically when I got these pens, I got these ones and a Hoohoo ones. But the Hoohoo didn't have the brush nibs, and hands down I would have recommended these. Absolutely love them. And I did all the tests and they were amazing. But as I've used them more, they absolutely, as I said, I have a love-hate relationship. I literally pull them out every single time I craft. So I love acrylic markers and I pull them out all the time. And so they're probably one of my most go-to supplies. And so in that respect, I absolutely love them. But they drive me insane in that they are very unpredictable. So look, like this one here. See, it's not working. And I know I've not done enough colouring for that to not work. But I could pull that out next time and it would work. So it's like this one as well doesn't want to work. Both the blues for some reason. So when I pull it out and it doesn't work like that, I'm unsure. Now some of these other ones, they actually have a clear window so you can see where the ink is, so you would know whether it's because the ink is running out or whether it's a dud pen. To be honest, I think these are dud pens. Blue isn't my go-to colour. Now the pale green, where's the pale green? There's a pale green. This one doesn't always work on me, but I use this all the time, so I wouldn't be surprised because the ink could be done on it. So yeah, bit of a love-hate relationship with them, which is why I want to find, because they are one of my most used product, I absolutely want to find acrylic markers that work for me because I love them. But I want ones that are a bit more reliable than these. I don't particularly find these ones very reliable. But then there's other people, like Sharon says she loves hers. And I see other people online that like they go to and they're like, yeah, these are the best things ever. And then I see other people like, I know like Ashley Monet, on her channel. She hates them because they are so unpredictable. But their Sim Tap ones do seem to be more predictable. And they do have another type that is more expensive, which I may try. I may buy them for the review, but because I spent quite a lot of money on acrylic markers buying the ones that I bought, and I thought I already have, when I'm doing the review, I already have two types of Artex ones. I have these ones and I have the Sim Taps, so I thought it was a bit much to be reviewing a third type as well. But yeah. Have I done any scrapbooking? I have in the past. It's not something I particularly enjoy, to be honest, but I have done in the past. I made a start on a wedding album 25 years ago. Don't think I ever finished it. Art journaling and mixed media seem to be where my passion lies. But yes, I have tried it. And you can mix art journal, scrapbooking into your art journal things. I do like the aqua pens. I find you can get an accurate blend. I need to work with, I do like my Ecoline pens. Oh, I love that. There are such different pages. So we've done this one today. And then we have done this one. So I'm just going to quickly, for Sue's sake, just before I sign off, I'm just going to show you my Sidekick journal. So I have 2 videos about this on my channel if you want to see it in a bit more depth. But this basically is a no pressure journal. I'm just going to, let's see the mess of my desk. This is a no pressure journal. So literally in this journal I have no plan. You know, it's just like I will literally either at the beginning of the day or the end of the day just do stuff, and it's like I have no intention of doing stuff with it. And what you tend to find is just through just playing, as I said, I have no intention, like this is just me using up the ink. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not trying to create a finished page. I didn't even know I was going to cross over like that until just now. I might just give that a quick waft. But then through playing, see like this page, I'm not saying it's finished yet, but it's almost finished, but it wasn't, I'm not trying to do a page. Well, that definitely is not smelling happy. I'm waiting for it to blow up in my face. Turn that off, don't want to do it. So it's in this journal, the point, see look, you can see I've tested my marker down there. So as I say, I've got 2 videos. What is a Sidekick journal, and then I think the other one that's like this has changed everything, something like that. You'll see the picture of the journal on the front. But literally, let's put a bit of green on this. There is no purpose to it. I'm not trying to create a finished piece. I'm literally just kind of going through and thinking, oh, that'd look nice there. Let's do a bit of this. And I'm not trying to create a finished page. And sometimes I do stuff and think, oh, that looks dreadful. But it doesn't really matter because that wasn't really the purpose for today. I mean, what I have done is like emptied that white ink out of here. So in kind of doing that, I find this form of journaling really, really freeing. And I find that it's definitely complete no pressure. But I'm still like, I wouldn't say this page is finished, but say it's getting there. Same with this one. But I've not sat with any of these pages and thought, oh, do you know what? That's me done now. Actually, I might just put, I just kind of, yeah, and I'm not doing anything, I'm not trying to, I mean that probably looks like I've ruined it, but I'm not actually trying to create anything, so it doesn't really matter. because I've got absolutely no intention or no ideas or if this works or not. It's fine. To be honest, right now I'm just thinking about using up my ink so I don't waste it. That's the sum total of what's in my brain right now. But I definitely find this way of playing, and I've decided to make a journal for my Sidekick journal, but this could be anything. It could be a journal that you've got lying about, it could be an old notepad, it could be anything. You don't need it doesn't need to be anything in particular. Like, you don't need to make a journal for it, you can just use whatever. But I do find that this, if you're kind of struggling, might be an idea. Oops. So you can see there, I've never done that in my life, but I was using watercolours the other day, and like my pages are kind of stuck together and I've now put a hole in that one, but it's not the end of the world, because it's like, it doesn't matter. I don't feel like I've ruined it because I wasn't doing anything with it anyway. Let's stick the yellow in here. Since we've got Bumblebee, he might like yellow. And so it does a couple of things. Sometimes, as I said, when I start, before I get started creating, I will just sort of do a warm up in here, like slosh paint about, not trying to make anything. And then sometimes, like today, I had that ink, which I didn't want to waste, and now I've just sort of splotted it on my page. But I do find that doing things like that really helps to take the pressure off. Oh, hang on, what's Steph saying? Look at where it is. Haha, Pauline. Yes, they are. They should be below. Okay, so are your two stop sentiments the wrong way round? Let's have a look. You're right, they are. Well done. Thank you, Pauline. Let's see if I can sort that without destroying it too much. Well done. Tell ya, I'm not safe to be let loose. I've created a little spot there, but that's fine. What we will do is we will draw another one of those orange dots. Thank you. I am going to have a drink. You like the idea? Do you know what? The Sidekick journal, it's like, I've not maybe explained it in the best way, but I've got 2 videos on my YouTube channel, so do feel free to go over and watch them, because I kind of go into it in a lot more detail. But it's literally there for just that is my no pressure form of art journaling, and I think if you're in a funk or you've lost your mojo, that it's a good way. I'm just going to add a little circle there to disguise the fact that I've ripped it somewhat, and it still works with the design. Right, I think I've waffled long enough. I need my bed. Please keep your eyes peeled to the newsletter, to the group, to my socials, because something very exciting is being announced at the weekend, and I can't wait to tell you all about it, but I'm going to have to, or otherwise I'll get into trouble. So yeah, it's definitely, I love the Sidekick journal for that, Stephanie. It's a really good idea. I love it. Thank you. Yeah, I need my bed, quite frankly. And I will see you guys all later. Thank you so much for bearing with me and all the tech issues. Hopefully we'll get it sorted for next time. Now I need to find where husband has hidden mouse to be able to, what's over there, to be able to end this stream. Got the state of my desk. Shall I put it closer again so it's like, there we go, now we just see pretty things. We don't have to see the